proceed, Selenius, to procure my fall, and by the doom of death, end woes and all. Merchant of Syracuse, plead no more. I am not partial to infringe our laws, the discord and enmity of which sprung from the rancorous outrage of your duke. To merchants, our well-dealing countrymen, who, wanting guilders to redeem their lives, have sealed his rigorous statutes with their blood, excludes all pity from our threatening looks. It hath, in solemn synods, been decreed by both our towns and the Syracusans to admit no traffic into our adverse towns. If any born at Syracuse come to the Bay of Ephesus, he dies. His goods confiscate to the Duke's dispose, unless 1,000 marks be levied to quit the penalty and ransom him. Thy substance, valued at the highest rate, cannot want more than 100 marks. Therefore, thou art condemned to die. Yet this my comfort when thy words are done. My woes, and likewise, like the evening sun. Well, Syracusian, say in brief the cause for why thou departedst thy native home, and for what cause thou camest to Ephesus. A heavier task could not have been imposed than for me to speak my griefs unspeakable. Yet, that the world may witness that my end was wrought by nature and not by vile offense, I'll utter what sorrows give me leave. In Syracuse was I born, and wed unto a woman happy but for me, and by me, had not our hap been bad. With her I lived in great joy, our wealth increased by prosperous voyages I often made to Epidemium till my factor's death, and the great care of goods left at random drew me from kind embracements of my spouse, to whom my absence was not 6 months old before she had made provisions for her following me, and soon and safe arrived where I was. It wasn't long after this that she became the mother of 2 goodly sons, which was strange. One was so like the other you couldn't distinguish them but only by names. At that very hour, in that self-same inn, a meaner woman was relieved of just the same burden. 2 male twins, both alike. Those whom their parents were exceedingly poor, I bought and brought up to attend my sons. My wife had made daily motions for our return home. Unwillingly, I agreed. Alas, too soon we came aboard. A league to Epidemium had we sailed before the always wind-obeying deep made any instance toward our harm. And this it was so, for by other means was none. That means a storm was brewing. Our sailors had sought for safety by their boats and left our ship, then sinking right, to us. My wife, who was more caring for the latter-born, had fastened to a small spare mast, like how seafaring men would often use during such storms. To the other twin he was also bound, and I, likewise, was heedful to the others. My wife and I, having disposed of our children, fixed our eyes on whom we cared to fix them on, and fastened ourselves to either end of the mast. And then, floating straight, obedient to the stream, we sailed towards Corinth, or so we thought. Let me say no more. Nay! Forward! Old man, do not break off so, for we may pity, though not pardon thee. You know, if the gods had not done so, I would not have worthily termed them merciless to us. We were encountered by a mighty rock, which, but being violently borne upon, our helpful ship was split down the midst, so that in this unjust divorce of us, fortune had left to the both of us alike what to delight in, what to sorrow for. In our eyes, they 3 were picked up by some fishermen of Corinth, as we thought, and at length a ship came and seized upon us, and homeward did they bend their course. Thus, have you heard me split from my grief? That misfortunes doth prolong my life, to tell these sad stories.
And for the sake of thee thou sorrowest for, do me the favor to dilate at full what hath befallen of them and thee till now.
My youngest boy, and yet my eldest care, at 18 years became inquisitive of his brother, and importuned that his attendant, so he was like, reft his brother, but retained his name, to bear him company on the quest of him, while I had labored for love to see. I hazarded the love that I had lost. Thus, however, ends the story of my life. And happy were I in my timely death. Could all my travels warrant me they live?
Hapless Achaeon, whom the fates have marked to bear the extremities of dire mishap. Now trust me, were it not against our laws, against my crown, my oath, my dignity, my soul should sue as advocate for thee. But, though thou art adjudged to the death, and past sentence can't be recalled, but to our honor's great disparagement, yet I will favor thee where I can. Therefore, merchant, I give you this day to seek thy health by beneficial help. Go, try all the friends thou hast in Ephesus, beg thou or borrow to make up the sum, and live. If no, then thou art doomed to die. Jailer, take him into thy custody.
I will, my lord.
What? Ah, no, ah, ee, ah, ooh.
But therefore give out that you are of Epidemium, lest that your goods be too soon confiscated. This very day, a Syracusean merchant is apprehended for arrival here, and not being able to buy up his own life, according to the statute of this town, dies ere the weary sun sets in the west. There is your money that I had to keep.
Go, bear it to the centaur where we host, and say there, Dromio, till I come for thee. Within the hour, 'twill be dinner time. Till that I'll view the manner of the town, peruse the trader, gaze upon the buildings, and then return to sleep within mine inn. For with long travel I'm stiff and weary. Get thee away.
Many a man would take you at your word, and go indeed, having so good a mean.
I trust thee, villain, that very oft I am dull with care and melancholy, lightens my humor with a merry jest. What, will you walk with me about the town, and then return to dine with me in my inn?
I'm invited, sir, to certain merchants of whom I hope to make much benefit. I crave your pardon. Soon, 5 o'clock, please you, I will meet with you upon the mart, and afterwards consort with you till bedtime. My present business calls me from you now.
Farewell till then. I will go lose myself and wander up and down the town.
Sir, I commend you to your own content.
He that commends me to my own content commends me to the thing I cannot get. I to the world, like a drop of water, that in the ocean seeks another drop. Falling there to find his fellow forth, unseen, inquisitive, confounds himself. So I, to find a mother and a brother, in quest of them, unhappy, lose myself. Well, here comes the almanac of my true date. What now? How chance thou art returned so soon?
Returned so soon? Rather approached too late. While the capon burns, the pig falls from the spit. The clock hath struck in 12 upon the bell. My mistress made it 1 upon my cheek. She is so hot because the meat is cold. The meat is cold because you come not home. You come not home because you have no stomach. You have no stomach, having broke your fast, but we that know what 'tis to fast and pray are penitent for your default today.
Stop in your wind, sir, and tell me this, I pray. Where have you left the money I gave you?
Oh, 6 pence that I had a Wednesday last to pay the saddler for my mistress' crupper. Well, the saddler had it, sir. I kept it not.
I'm not in a sport of humor now. Tell me, and dally not. Where is the gold I gave in charge to thee?
Oh, I pray you jest, sir, as you sit at dinner. I from my mistress come to you in post. If I return, I shall be post indeed, for she will score your fault upon my pate. Methinks your maw, like mine, should be your clock, and strike you home without a messenger.
Come, Dromio, come, these jests are out of season. Reserve them till a merrier hour than this. Where is the gold?
Gold? Why, you gave no gold to me, sir.
Come, Dromio, sir knave, have done your foolishness, and tell me where thou hast disposed my charge.
My charge, sir, was but to fetch you from the mart, home to your house, the Phoenix, to dinner. My mistress and her sister stays for you.
As I am a Christian, answer me, in what safe place you bestow my money? Or I shall break that merry sconce of yours that stands on tricks when I am undisposed. Where is the 1,000 marks thou hadst to me?
I have some marks of yours upon my pate, some marks of my mistress upon my shoulders, but not 1,000 marks between you both. If I should pay your worship those again, perchance you would not bear them patiently.
Thy mistress marks? What mistress servant hast thou?
Your worship's wife, sir. My mistress set the Phoenix. She that doth fast till you come home to dinner, and prays that you will hie you home to dinner.
What? Wilt thou flout me thus on my face, being forbid? Here, take you that, sir knave!
What mean you, sir? For God's sake, hold your hand! Oh, nay, and you will not! I'll take my heels out!
On my life. By some device or other, the villain is overwrought of all my money. They say this town is full of cousin-ages, nimble jugglers that deceive the eye, and dark-working sorcerers that change the mind, other such liberties of sin. If it proves so, I'll be gone the sooner, all to the centaur, to seek the servant. I greatly fear my money is not safe.
Neither my husband nor the servant returned that in such haste I sent to seek his master. Show Luciana, it is 2 o'clock.
Perhaps some merchant hath invited him, and from the mart he's somewhere gone to dine. Good sister, let us dine, and never fret. Man is master of his liberty. Time is their master, and when they see time, they'll go or come. If so, be patient, sister.
Why should their liberty than ours be more?
Because their business still lies out a door.
Look, when I serve him so, he takes it ill.
Oh no, he is the bridle of your will.
There's none but asses will be bridled so.
Why, headstrong liberty is lashed with woe. There is nothing situate under heaven's eye but hath his bound in earth and sea and sky. The beasts, the fishes, and the winged fowls are their male subjects and at their controls. Man, more divine, master of all these, lord of the wide world and wild watery seas, endued with intellectual sense and souls of greater preeminence than fish and fowls, are their females masters and their lords. Then let your will attend on their accords.
This servitude makes you to keep unwed.
Not this, but the troubles of the marriage bed.
But were you wedded, you would bear some sway.
Ere I learn love, I'll practice to obey.
How, if your husband serves some other where?
Till he come home again, I would forbear.
How patience unmoved. No marvel though she pause. They can be meek that have no other cause. A wretched soul bruised with adversity, we bid be quiet when we hear it cry. But were we burdened with like weight of pain, as much or more we should ourselves complain. So thou, that hast no unkind mate to greet thee, with urging helpless patience wouldst relieve me. So if thou live to see like right bereft, this fool-begged patience in thee will be left.
Well, I will marry one day, but to try. Here comes your man. Now is your husband nigh?
Say, is your tardy master now at hand?
Nay, he's at 2 hands with me, and that my 2 ears can witness.
Say, didst thou speak with him? Knowest thou his mind?
Aye, he spoke his mind upon my ear. Beshrew his hand, I could scarce understand it.
Spake he so doubtfully you couldst not feel his meaning?
Nay, he struck so plainly, I could too well feel his meaning. Beshrew his hand, I could scarce understand them.
But I pray thee, is he coming home? It seems he hath great care to please his wife.
Why, mistress, my master is horn mad. When I desired him come home to dinner, he asked me for 1,000 marks in gold. "'Tis dinner time,' quoth I. "'My gold,' quoth he. 'The meat doth burn, quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Will you come? Quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Where is the 1,000 marks I gave thee, villain? The pig, quoth I, is burning. My gold, quoth he. My mistress, sir, quoth I. Hang up thy mistress, I know not thy mistress. Out on thy mistress.
Quoth who?
Quoth my master. I know, quoth he, no house, no wife, no mistress. So that my errand do unto my tongue, I thank him, I bear home upon my shoulders, for in conclusion he did beat me there.
Go back again, thou servant, and fetch him home.
Go back again, and be new beaten home? Oh, for God's sake, send some other messenger.
Go, or I will break thy paint across.
And he will bless that cross with other beating. Between you I shall have a holy head.
Thus, prating peasant, fetch thy master home.
Am I so round with you as you with me that, like a football, you do spurn me thus? You will spurn me hence, and he will spurn me hither. If I last in this service, then you must case me in leather.
Fie, how impatience lowereth in your face.
His companies must do his minions grace, whilst I, at home, starve for a merry look. Hath homely age the alluring beauty taken from my fair cheek? Then he hath wasted it. Are my discourses dull? Bear in my wit? That's not my fault. He is a master of my state. What runes are in me that can be found by him not ruined? Thus is he the ground of my defeatures. My decayed fair a sunny look of his would soon repair.
Self-harming jealousy. Fie, beat it hence.
Unfeeling fools can with such wrongs dispense. I know his eye doth homage otherwhere, or else what lets it but he would be here. Sister, you know he promised me a chain. Would that alone a love I would detain, if so to keep fair courtier with his bed. Since that my beauty cannot please his eye, I'll weep what's left, and weeping die!
How many fond fools serve mad jealousy? Come back!
The gold I gave to Dromio is laid up safe in the centaur, and the heedful servant is wandered forth in care to seek me out. By computation and my own host's report, I could not speak with Dromio since the first I sent him from the mart. But see, here he comes. How now, sir, is your merry humour altered? As you love stroke, so jest with me again. You know no centaur, you receive no gold. Your mistress is to have me home to dinner. My house is at the Phoenix. What's the mad? That thus so madly thou didst answer me?
What answer, sir? When spake I such a word?
Even here, even now, not half an hour since.
I did not see you since you sent me hence home to the centaur with the gold you gave me.
Villain, thou didst deny the gold's receipt. Told me of a mistress and a dinner, for which I hope thou felt'st I was displeased.
I am glad to see you in this merry vein. What means this jest, I pray you, master, tell me.
Yea, dost thou jeer and flout me in the teeth? Thinkest thou I jest? Behold, take you that and that.
Oh, sir, for God's sake, now you're just as earnest. Upon what bargains you give it me.
You would jest with me, know my aspect, and fashion your demeanor to my looks, or I will beat the method in your sconce.
But I pray, sir, why am I beaten?
Dost thou not know?
Nothing, sir, but that I am beaten.
Shall I tell you why?
Why? Sir, and the wherefore. For they say, every why hath a wherefore.
Why first, for flouting me, and then wherefore? For urging it a second time to me.
Was there ever any man thus beaten out of season, when in the why and the wherefore is neither rhyme nor reason? Well, sir, I thank you.
Thank me, sir. For what?
Marry, sir, for this something that you gave me for nothing.
I'll make amends next and give you nothing for something. But say, sir, is it dinner time?
No! Sir, I think the meat wants that I have.
Well, good time, sir. What's that?
Basting.
Why, sir, then 'twill be try.
If it be, sir, I pray you eat none of it.
Your reason?
Lest it make you choleric. and purchase me another dry basting.
Well, learn to jest in good time. There's a time for all things.
I just have denied that before you were so choleric.
By what rule?
Marry, sir, by a rule as plain as the plain bald painter Father Time himself.
Well, let's hear it.
There's no time for man to recover his hair. That grows bald by nature.
May he not do it by fine and recovery?
Yes, to pay a fine for a periwig and recover the lost hair of another man.
Why is time such a miser of hair, being as it is so plentiful an excrement?
Because it is a blessing he hath bestowed upon beasts. And what he hath scanted men in hair, he hath given them in wit.
But there's many a man hath more hair than wit.
Not a man of those but he hath the wit to lose his hair.
Thou just conclude, hairy men, plain dealers without wit?
Well, the plainer dealer, the sooner lost. Yet he loseth it in a kind of jollity.
For what reason?
For two, and sound ones too.
Nay, not sound, I pray you.
Sure ones then.
Nay, not sure, and a thing falsing.
Certain ones then.
Name them.
The one, to save the money that he spends in tiring. The other, that at dinner they should not drop into his porridge.
Now all this time to prove there is no time for all things.
Marry indeed, sir. Namely, in no time to recover hair lost by nature.
But your reason was not substantial, why there's no time to recover.
Thus I mend it. Time himself is bald, and therefore, to world's end, will have bald followers.
I knew it would be a bald conclusion. But soft, who wafts us yonder?
Aye, Antipholus. Look strange and frown. Some other mistress hath thy sweet aspects. I am not Adriana, nor thy wife. The time was once when thou unurged wouldst vow that never were words music in thine ears, that never object pleasing in thine eye, that never touch well welcome in thy hand, that never meat sweet savored in thy taste, unless I spake or looked or touched or carved to thee. How comes it now, my husband? How comes it now that thou art then estranged from thyself I call it, being strange to me, that undividable, incorporate, and better than thy dear self's better parts? Do not tear thyself away from me. For knowest, my love, as easy mayest thou fall a drop of water in the breaking gulf, and take unmingled thence that drop again, without addition or diminishing, as take for me myself and not me too. How quickly would it touch thee to the quick, shouldst thou but learn I were licentious, and that this body, consecrate to thee by ruffian lust, had grown contaminate? Wouldst thou not spit at me, and spurn at me, and hurl the name of husband in my face, and tear the stained skin off my harlot brow, and take from my false hand the wedding ring with deep divorcing vow? Take then fair league and truce with thy true bed. I live disdained, thou undishonoured.
Plead you to me, fair dame? I know you not. In Ephesus I am but 2 hours old, as strange unto your town as to your talk, who every word by all my wit being scanned, wants wit in one word to understand.
Fie, brother, how the world has changed with you. When were you wont to use my sister thus? She sent for you, by Dromio, home to dinner.
By Dromio?
By me.
By thee. And this thou didst return from him, that he did buffet thee, and in his blows denied my house for his, me for his wife.
Did you converse, sir, with this gentlewoman? What is the course and drift of your compact?
I, sir, I never saw her till this time.
Villain! Thou liest! Even her very words thou didst deliver to me on the mart.
I never spake with her in all my life.
How can she thus then call us by our names? As it is by inspiration. To me she speaks, she moves me for a theme. But was I married to her in a dream, or sleep I now and think I hear all this? Whatever drives our eyes and ears amiss? Until I know this sure uncertainty, I'll entertain the offered fallacy.
Dromio, go bid the servants spread for dinner.
Oh, for my beads I cross me for a sinner. This is the fairy land, no spite of spites. We talk with goblins, owls, and sprites. If we obey them not, this will ensue. They'll suck our breath or pinch us black and blue.
What practicest thou to thyself, and answerest not, Dromio? Thou drumble, thou snail, thou slug, thou sot!
I am transformed, master am not I.
I think thou art in mind, and so am I.
Come, come! No longer will I be the fool to put the finger in the eye and weep with man and master. Blow my woes to scorn. Husband, to dinner. Dromio, keep the gate. Husband, I will dine with thee forth, and I will strive thee of 1,000 idle pranks. Dromio, shall Sini ask where your master is? Say he dines forth, and let no creature enter. Sister, come with me. Dromio, play the porter well.
Am I on earth, in heaven, or hell? Waking or sleeping? Mad or well advised? Known unto thee as unto myself disguised? I'll say as they say, and persevere so. In this mist that all adventures go.
Master, shall I play porter at the gate?
Aye, and let none enter, lest I break your cage!
Come, come, Antipholus, we died too late!
Signor Angelo, you must excuse us all. My wife is shrewish when I keep not hours. Say that I lingered with you at your shop to see the making of her carcinet, and that tomorrow you will bring it home. But here's a villain that would face me down. He met me on the mart, and that I beat him and charged him 1,000 marks in gold, and did deny my wife an house. Thou drunkard, thou, what dost thou mean by this?
Say what you will, sir, but I know what I know. That you beat me at the mart. I have your hands to show. If the skin were parchment and the blows you gave were ink, your own handwriting would tell you what I think.
I think thou art an ass.
Marry, so it doth appear by the wrongs I suffer and the blows I bear. I should kick being kicked, and being at that pass, you would keep from my heels and beware of an ass.
Oh, you're sad, Signor Balthazar. Pray God our cheer may answer my goodwill and your good welcome here.
I hold your dainties cheap, sir, and your welcome dear.
Oh, Signor Balthazar, either at flesh or fish, a table full of welcome makes scarce one dainty dish.
Good meat, sir, is common, that every churl affords.
And welcome more common, for that's nothing but words.
Small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast.
Better cheer may you have, but not with better heart. But stop, my door is locked. Go, bid them let us in.
Maud! Bridget! Marion? Cecily? Jillian? Jen? Mo? Malt horse? Capon? Coxcomb? Idiot!
Oh,
Patch! Either get thee from the door, or sit down at the hatch. Not so conjure for wenches, that thou callest for such a store, when one is so many. Go get thee from the door. What patch is made our porter? My master stands in the street. Let him walk from whence he came, lest he catch cold on's feet.
who's in there? Oh, open the door.
Right, sir. I'll tell you when, and you'll tell me wherefore.
Wherefore? For my dinner. I have not time today.
Not today, here you must not. Come again when you may.
What art thou that keepest me out from the house? I owe?
The porter, for this time, sir, and my name is Dromio. Oh, villain! Thou hast stolen both mine office and my name. The one ne'er got me credit, the other mickle blame. If thou hadst been Dromio today in my place, thou wouldst have changed thy face for a name, or thy name for an ass.
What the coil is there, Dromio? Who are those at the gate?
Loose, let my master in.
Oh, faith and all, he comes too late. And so tell your master.
Oh Lord, I must laugh. Have at you with the proverb.
you with another. That's when. Can you tell?
Ooh, if thy name be called Luce, thou hast answered him well.
You'll cry for this, minion! Do you hear? You'll let us in, I hope?
I thought to have asked you.
And you said no! So come hell, well struck, there is blow for blow.
Thou baggage, let me in!
Can you tell for whose sake?
Master, knock the door hard.
Let him knock till it ache.
You'll cry for this, minion, when I beat the door down.
What needs all that? And a pair of stocks in the town?
Who is it at the door that keeps all this noise? By my troth, your town is troubled with unruly boys.
Are you there, wife? You might have come before.
Your wife, Sir Knave? Go get thee from the door.
If you went in pain, master, this knave would go sore.
Here is neither here, sir, nor welcome. We would fain have either.
In debating which was the best, we shall depart with neither.
They stand in the street, master. Bid them welcome hither.
There is something in the wind that we cannot get in.
You would say so, master, if your garments were thin. Your cake here is warm within. It would make a man mad as a buck to be so bought and sold.
Go fetch me something. I'll beat the door down.
Break any breaking here, and I'll break your knave's pate. A man would have a word with you, sir, and words are but wind. I and break it in your face, and he break it not behind. It seems thou wants breaking out upon thee high. He is too much out upon thee. I pray thee, let me in. Aye, when fowl have no feathers, and fish have no fin.
Well, I'll break in. Go, borrow me a crow.
A crow without a feather? Master, mean you so? For a fish without a fin, there's a fowl without a feather. If a crow help us in, sirrah, we'll pluck a crow together.
Go, get thee gone, fetch me an iron crow.
Have patience, sir! Let it not be so! Herein you war against her reputation and draw into the compass of suspect the unviolated honor of your wife. Whence this? Your long experience of her wisdom, her sober virtue, years, and modesty, do plead unto her part some cause to you unknown, as do I now the doors are made against you. Be ruled by my words. Depart in patience, and let us to the tiger for dinner. At evening come you alone to know the reason of this strange restraint. For if by strong hand you offer to break in the stirring passage of the day, a vulgar comment will be made of it, and supposed by the common rote, against your yet ungalled estimation, it may with foul intrusion enter in, and dwell upon your grave when you are dead. For slander lives upon succession, forever housed where once it gains possession.
You have prevailed. I will depart in quiet, and in despite of mirth mean to be merry. I know a wench of excellent discourse, pretty and witty, wild and yet too gentle. There will we dine. This woman that I mean, my wife, though I protest, without desert, hath oftentimes upbraided me withal. To her will we to dinner. Go, get thee home, and bring the chain. By this I know 'tis made. Bring it, I pray you, to the Porpentine, for there is the house. That chain will I bestow, be it for nothing but to spite my wife upon mine hostess there. Madam, make haste! If mine own doors refuse to entertain me, I'll knock elsewhere and see if they'll disdain me.
I'll meet you at that place some hour hence.
Do so, this jest shall cost me some expense.
And may it be that you have quite forgot a husband's office? Shall Antipholus, even in the spring of love, thy love springs wrought? Shall love in building grow so ruinous? If you wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake, use her with more kindness. Or, if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth. Muffle your false love with some show of blindness. Let not my sister read it in your eye. Be not thy tongue thy own shame's orator. Look sweet, speak fair, become disloyalty. 'Tis double wrong to truant with your bed and let her read it in thy looks aboard. Ill deeds is doubled with an evil word. Then, gentle brother, get you in again. Comfort my sister, cheer her, call her wife. 'Tis holy smart to be a little vain when the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife. You may go. Antipholus, the door! Leave!
Sweet mistress, what your name is else I know not, nor by what manner you do hit of mine, less than earth's wonder, and more than earth divine. Teach me, dear creature, how to think and speak, lay open to my earthly gross conceit, smothered in airs, feeble, shallow, weak, the folded meaning of your words deceit. Against my soul's pure truth, why labor you? To make it wander in an unknown field?
Oh, no.
Are you a god? Would you create me new? Transform me then into your power I'll yield. What's that I? Am I? Oh, then I know. Your weeping sister is no wife of mine. Nor to her bed no homage do I owe. Far more to you do I decline. Oh, train me not, sweet mermaid, to drown in thy sister's flood of tears. Sing, siren, for thyself, and I will dote.
What? Are you mad that you do reason so?
I'm not mad, but mated. How, I do not know.
It is a fault that springeth from your eye.
For gazing on your beams, fair sun, being by.
Gaze when you should, that will clear your sight.
As good to wink, sweet love, as look on night.
Why call you me love? Call my sister so.
Thy sister's sister.
That's my sister.
No, 'tis thyself. Mine own self's better part. Mine eye's clear eye, my dear heart's dearer heart. My food, my fortune, my sweet hope's aim. My soul hers heaven, and my heaven's claim.
All this my sister is, or else should be.
Call thyself sister sweet. For thee I am, with thee I love, and I will lead my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor I no wife. Give me thy hand.
Oh, soft sir, hold you still. I'll fetch my sister to get her goodwill.
Oh, what now, Dromio? Why runnest thou so fast?
Do you know me, sir? Am I Dromio? Am I your man?
Am I myself?
Thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself. Go, hide thee presently, post to the road. The wind blow any way from shore, I will not harbor in this town tonight. When he bark put forth, go to the mart, where I will walk till thou return to me. Everyone knows us, and we know none. It's time, I think, to trudge back and be gone. There are none but witches do inhabit here. Therefore, it's high time that I be hence. She who doth call me husband, even my soul doth her wife abhor. But her fair sister, possessed of such a gentle, sovereign grace, such enchanting presence and discourse, hath almost made me traitor to myself. But, lest I be guilty of self-wrong, I'll hold mine ears against this mermaid song.
Master Antipholus.
Aye, that's my name.
I know it well, sir. Lo, here's the chain. I thought to have taken you at the Porpentine. The chain unfinished made me stay thus long.
What is your will that I shall do with this?
What pleases yourself, sir? I made it for you.
Made it for me? I bespoke it not.
Not once, not twice, but 20 times you have. Go on with it. Please your wife withal. And soon, at supper time, I'll visit you and receive my money for the chain.
I pray you, sir, receive the money now, for fear you never see chain nor money more.
Oh, you are a merry man, sir. Fare you well.
What I should think of this, I cannot tell. But this I think, there is no man so vain as to refuse so fair an offered chain. I see the men here need not live in shifts when in the street they meet such golden gifts. On to the mart, and there for Dromio stay. If any ship put out, then straight away.
You know, since Pentecost the sum is due, and since I have not much importuned you, nor now had I not, but that I am bound to Persia and want guilders for my voyage. Therefore, make present satisfaction, or I'll attach you by this officer.
Even just the sum that I owe to you is growing to me by Antipholus. In the instant that I met you, he had of me a chain. At 5 o'clock, I'll receive money for the same. Please, if you walk with me down to his house, and I'll discharge my bond, and thank you too.
That labor may you save. See where he comes.
While I go to the goldsmith's house, go thou and buy a rope's end. That will I bestow among my wife and her confederates for locking me out of my doors by day. But soft, I see the goldsmith. Get thee gone, buy thou a rope, and bring it home to me.
I buy £1,000 a year. I buy a rope.
A man is well holp up that trusts to you. I promised your presence in the chain, but neither chain nor goldsmith came to me. Be like you thought our love would last too long if it were chained together, and therefore came not.
Saving your merry humor, here's the note. How much the chain weighs to the utmost carat, the finest of the gold in chargeful fashion, which doth amount to 3 odd ducats more than I stay indebted to this gentleman. Please, if you see him pleasantly discharged, for he is bound by sea but stays for it.
I am not furnished with the present money. Besides, I have some business about the town. Pray you, good signora, take this stranger to my house, and with you bear the chain. Take it to my wife, and bid her disperse the sum upon receipt thereof. Perchance I will be there as soon as you.
Then you will give the chain to her yourself?
No, bear it with you, lest I come not time enough.
Well, I will, sir. Have you the chain about you?
And if I have not, I hope you have, or else you may return without your money.
Nay, come, pray, sir, give me the chain. Both wind and tide stay for this gentleman, and I, to blame, have held him here too long.
Good Lord! You use this dalliance to excuse your breach of promise to the Porpentine. I should have chided you before, but like a shrew you first begin to brawl.
The hour steals on. I pray you, madam, dispatch.
You hear how he importunes me. The chain.
I have it not. Give it to my wife and fetch your money.
Come. You know I gave it to you even now. Either send the chain or send me by some token.
Fie, you run this humor out of breath. Come, where's the chain? Let me see it.
My business cannot brook this dalliance. Good sir, say whether you'll answer me or no. If not, I'll leave her to the officer.
I answer you? What should I answer you?
The money you owe me for the chain.
I owe you none till I receive the chain.
You know I gave it to you half an hour since.
You did not. You wrong me much to say so.
You wronged me more in denying it. Consider how it stands upon my credit.
Well, officer, arrest her at my suit.
I do and charge you in the Duke's name to obey me.
This touches me in reputation. Either consent to pay the sum of me, or I attach you by this officer.
Consent to pay thee? That I never had? Arrest me, foolish fellow, if thou darest.
Here's the fee. Arrest him, officer. I would not spare my brother in this case if he should scorn me so apparently.
No,
To arrest you, sir. You hear the suit?
I do obey thee, till I give thee bail. But you, madam, you shall buy this sport as dearly as all the metal in your shop shall answer.
Sir, I shall have law in Ephesus. To your notorious shame, I doubt it not.
Master! There's a bark of epidemium that stays but till her master comes aboard, and then, sir, she bears away. Our fraughtage, sir, I have conveyed aboard, and I have bought the oil, the balsam, and the aquavitae. The ship is in her trim, the merry wind blows fair from land, and they stay for not at all, but for their owner, master, and yourself.
How now, a madman? Why, thou peevish sheep, what ship of epidemium stays for me?
A ship you sent me to hire waftage.
Thou drunken servant, I sent thee to a rope, and told thee to what purpose
for a bark.
I will debate this matter at more leisure, and teach your ears to list me with more heed. To Adriana Villain, hie thee straight. Oh, bring her this key. Tell her in the ship that's the desk that's covered o'er with Turkish tapestry, there is a purse of ducats. Bid her send it. Tell her I am arrested in the street, and that shall bail me. Be gone, servants! On, officer. To prison till it come.
To Adriana, that is where we dine. Oh, thither I must, although against my will, for servants must their master's minds fulfill.
Ah, Luciana. Did he tempt thee so? With what persuasion didst thou appear austerely in his eye that he did plead in earnest? Yea or no? Looks he red, or pale, or sad, or merrily? What observation madest thou in this case of heart's meteors tilting in his face?
First, he denied you had in him no right.
He meant he did me none, the more my spite.
Then swore he that he was a stranger here.
And true he swore, though yet forsworn he were.
Then pleaded I for you.
And what said he?
That love I begged for you, he begged of me.
With what persuasion did he tempt thy love?
With words that in an honest suit might move. First he did praise my beauty, then my speech.
Did speak him fair?
Have patience, I beseech.
I cannot, nor I will not hold me still. My tongue, though not my heart, shall have his will. He is deformed,
Right.
crooked, old in sire, ill-faced, worse-bodied, shapeless everywhere, vicious, ungentle, foolish, blunt, unkind, stigmatical, and making worse in mind.
Who would be jealous then of such a one? No evil lost is wailed when it is gone.
Aye, but I do think him better than I say. And would hear in others' eyes were worse. Far from her nest the lapwing cries away. My heart longs for him, though my tongue do curse.
Here, go, the desk, the purse. Now, make haste.
How hast thou lost thy breath?
By running fast.
Dromio! Dromio, have you seen your master? Is he well?
No! He is in a Tartar limbo worse than hell. A devil in an everlasting garment hath him, one whose hard heart is buttoned up with steel. A fiend, a fairy, pitiless and rough. A wolf, nay, worse, a fellow all in buff. A back friend, shoulder clapper, one that countermands the passages of alleys, creeks, and narrow lands. A hound that runs counter, and yet draws dry foot well. One that before the judgment carries poor souls to hell.
Man! What's the matter?
I know not the matter. He is arrested on the case.
What, is he arrested? Tell me in whose suit.
I know not at whose suit he's arrested, well, but as in a suit of buff that rested him, that can I tell. Will you send him, mistress, redemption, the money in the desk?
Go fetch it, sister. This I do wonder that unknown to me he should be in debt. Tell me, was he arrested on a band?
Not on a band, but on a stronger thing. The chain. The chain. Do you not hear it ring?
What, the chain?
No, no. The bell. It is time I were gone. It was 2 ere I left him, and now the clock strikes 1.
Oh, the hours go back. This did I never hear.
Oh, yes. If any hour meet a sergeant who turns back for very fear.
As if time were in debt. How fondly dost thou reason?
Time is a varied bankrout, and owes more than he's worth to season. Nay, he's a thief too. Have you not heard men say that time comes stealing on by night and day? If I be in debt and theft, and a sergeant in the way, hath he not reason enough to turn back an hour and a day?
Look the money! Draw me out! Bear it hence to your master and fetch him home immediately! Come, sister. I am pressed down with conceit. Conceit, my comfort and my injury.
Not a man I meet, but doth salute me, as if I were a well-acquainted friend. Everyone doth call me by my name. Some tender money to me, some invite me, some other give me thanks for kindnesses. Some offer me commodities to buy, even now. A tailor invited me into his shop to show me the silks he bought for me, and therewithal took measure of my body. He's sure these are but imaginary wilds, Lapland sorcerers do inhabit here.
Master! Here's the gold you sent me for what? Have you got the picture of old Adam new of Harold?
What? Gold? Do you speak of what Adam dost thou mean?
Not the Adam that kept the paradise, but the Adam that keeps the prison. He that goes in the calf skin that was killed for the prodigal. He that came behind you, sir, like an evil angel and made you forsake your liberty.
I understand thee not.
No? It is a plain case. He that went like a bass viol in a case of leather. The man, sir, that when gentlemen are tired, gives them a sod and rests them. He, sir, that takes pity on decayed men and gives them suits of durance. He that sets up his rest to do more exploits with his mace than with a Morris pike.
What? Thou meanest an officer?
Aye, sir, the sergeant of the band. He that brings in any man to answer it that breaks its band. One that thinks men always going to bed and says, God give you good rest.
Well, sir, they're resting your foolery. See ship put out, can we be gone?
Why, sir, I gave you word an hour since that the bark expedition puts forth tonight. Then you are hindered by the sergeant to tarry for the hoy delay. Here are the angels you sent for to deliver you.
The fellow is distracted, and so am I. And here we wander in illusions. Some blessed power deliver us from hence!
Master Antipholus, I see you have found the goldsmith now. Is that the chain you promised me today?
Satan! Avoid! I charge thee, tempt me not!
Master, is this Mistress Satan? It is the devil. Nay, she's worse. She is the devil's dam, and here she comes in the habit of a light wench. Come not near her.
Your man and your marvelous Mary, sir. Will you go with me? We'll mend our dinner here.
Ah, master, if you do, expect spoon meat or bespeak a long spoon.
Why? Come here.
Marry, sir, he must have a long spoon that must eat with the devil.
Avoid then, fiend! What tellest thou me of something? Thou art, as you all are, a sorceress. I conjure thee to leave me and be gone!
Give me the ring of mine you had at dinner, or for my chain, the diamond, and at least I'll forget about it, sir.
Some devils ask but for the parings of one's nails, a rush, hair, blood, a pin, a knot, a cherry stone, but she, more covetous, would have a chain. Be wise, master, and if you give it her, the devil will shake her chain and fright us with it.
I pray, sir, my ring or else the chain. I hope you don't mean to cheat me so.
Avaunt, thou witch! Come, Dromio! Let us go!
Fly bride, says the peacock mistress that you know!
Now to doubt Antipholus is mad, else would he never so demean himself. A ring he hath of mine worth 40 ducats, and for the same he promised me a chain. Both one and other he denies me now. The reason I gather he is mad, besides the present instance of his rage, is a mad tale he told today at dinner of his own doors being shut against his entrance. Ha! Be like his wife, acquainted with his fits,
did shut the doors against his way. My way is now to hie home to his house, and tell his wife that, being lunatic, he rushed into my house and took perforce my ring away. This course I fittest choose, for 40 ducats is too much to lose.
Fear me not, man. I will not break away. I will give thee ere I leave thee so much money to warrant thee as I'm rested for. My wife is in a wayward mood today, and she will not lightly trust the messenger that I should be attached in Ephesus. I tell you, 'twill sound harshly in her ears. Oh, but here comes my man now. I think he brings the money. How now, sir? Have you that I sent you for?
Here's that I warrant you, we'll pay them all.
But what about the money?
Why, sir, I gave the money for the rope.
For 500 ducats, villain? For a rope?
I'll serve you, sir, 500 at the rate.
To what end did I bid thee hie thee home?
To a rope's end, sir, and to that end am I returned.
To that end, I welcome you.
Sir, be patient. Nay, 'tis for me to be patient. I am in adversity. Hold thy tongue. Nay, rather persuade him to hold his head.
Thou senseless villain!
I were senseless, that I might not feel your blows.
Thou art sensible in nothing but blows, and so is an ass.
I am an ass, indeed. You may prove it by my long ears. I have served him from the hour of my nativity to this instant, and have nothing to show at his hands for my service but blows. When I am cold, he heats me with beating. When I am warm, he cools me with it. I am waked with it when I sleep, raised with it when I sit, driven from doors with it when I go from home, welcomed home with it when I return. Nay, I bear it on my shoulders like a beggar want her brat. And I think when he hath lamed me, I shall beg with it from door to door.
Oh, get thee gone. Here comes my wife.
Mistress, respice finem, or rather, respect your end, like the prophecy of the parrot, beware the rope's end.
Dost thou still talk?
How say you now, is not your husband mad?
His incivilities confirm no less. Good Dr. Pinch, you are a conjurer. Establish him in his true self again, and I will please thee what thou wilt demand.
Alas, how fiery and how sharp he looks. Mark, how he trembles in his ecstasy.
No.
Okay.
Give me your hand. Let me feel your pulse.
Ooh.
Oh. Here is my hand. Let it feel your ear!
I charge thee, Satan, housed within this man, to yield possession to my holy prayers, and to thy state of darkness hide thee straight. I conjure thee by all the saints in heaven.
Peace, doting wizard! I am not mad!
Oh, thou wert not, poor distressed soul!
Thou villain, thou! Are these your customers? Did this companion revel and feast at my house today, whilst upon me the guilty lures and were locked and I shut out of my house?
Husband! God doth know you dined tonight. Oh, would that you were still there, free from these slanders in this open shade.
Dine tonight. What sayest thou, villain?
Sooth to say, sir, you did not dine at home.
Were not the doors locked up and I shut out?
Purdy, your doors were locked and you shut out.
And did not she herself revile me there?
Sans fable, she herself reviled you there.
Did not her kitchen maid rail, taunt, and scorn me?
Certes, she did. The kitchen vestal scorned you.
And did not I, enraged, depart from thence?
In verity, you did. My bones bear witness that since have felt the vigor of his rage.
Is it good to soothe him in these contraries?
It is no shame. The fellow finds his vein and, yielding to it, humors well his fancy.
Thou hast suborned the goldsmith to arrest me.
I gave thee money for thy redemption by Dromio here, who bore in haste with it.
Money by me? Heart and goodwill you might, but surely, master, not a rag of money.
Didst not thou go to her for a purse of ducats?
He came to me and I delivered it.
And I am witness with her that she did.
God and the rope maker bear witness that I was sent for nothing but a rope.
Mistress, both man and master are possessed. I know it by their pale and deathly looks. They must be bound and locked in some dark room.
Say, wherefore didst thou lock me forth today, and why dost thou deny the bag of gold?
I did not, gentle husband, lock thee forth.
And I, gentle master, received no gold. Though I do confess, sir, that we were locked out.
Dissembling villain, thou speakest false in both.
Thou art false in all, and art confederate to a damned pack to make a loathsome abject scorn of me.
Oh, bite him, let him not come near me.
No!
The fiend is strong within him.
Poor man! How pale and wan he looks.
What? Wilt thou murder me? Thou jailer, thou! I am thy prisoner. Wilt thou suffer them to make a rescue?
Master sees my prisoner. If I let him go, the debt he owes will be required of me.
Find his man, for he too is frantic.
What wilt thou do, thou peevish officer? Hast thou delight to see a wretched man do displeasure to himself?
He is my prisoner.
I will discharge thee ere I go from thee. Bring me forthwith unto his creditor, and knowing how the debt grows, I will pay it. Good master doctor, see him safe conveyed home to my house. Oh, most unhappy day.
Oh, most unhappy strumpet!
Master, I am entered now in bond for you.
Thou villain! Why dost thou mad me?
Will thou be bound for nothing? Be mad, good master. Cry, the devil!
God help poor souls! How idly do they talk!
Go bear him hence. Sister, stay with me.
Ow, 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 ow,
Tell me, sir, at whose suit is he arrested at?
One Angelo, a goldsmith. Do you know her?
I know the woman. What is the sum he owes?
200 ducats.
Say, how grows that due?
Due for the chain your husband had of her.
He did bespeak a chain of me, but had it not.
When as your husband, all enraged today, came into my house and took away my ring, the ring I saw upon his finger now, straight after did I meet him with a chain.
That may be, but never did I see it. Bring me forthwith unto this goldsmith. I long to know the truth hereof at large.
I see these witches are afraid of swords.
She that would be your wife now ran from you.
Go to the centaur, fetch our stuff from thence. I long that we are safe and sound aboard.
Hey, let us stay here this night. Surely they will do us no harm. You see, they speak us fair, give us gold. Methinks they are such a gentle nation that I could find it in my heart to stay here still. I will not stay tonight for all the town!
Therefore, away to get our stuff aboard.
I'm sorry to have hindered you, sir, but I protest that he had a chain of me, though, most dishonestly, he doth deny it.
How is the man esteemed here in the city?
A very reverent reputation, of credit infinite, highly beloved, second to none that live in the city. His word would bear my wealth at any time.
Speak softly, yonder as I think he walks.
'Tis so, and that silk chain about his neck, which he forsworn so monstrously to have. Good sir, draw near, I'll speak to him. Signor Antipholus, I wonder much that you would put me to such shame and trouble, and not without some scandal to yourself, with circumstance and oath so to deny the chain which now you wear so openly. Besides the charge, the shame, imprisonment, you do wrong to this my honest friend, who, but saying for our controversy, had hoisted sail and put to sea today. This chain you had of me, can you deny it?
I think I had. I never did deny it.
That you did, sir, and forswore it, too.
Who heard me deny it or forswear it?
Thou knowest these ears of mine did hear thee. Fie on thee, wretch! 'Tis a pity that thou livest, to walk where any honest man resolved.
Thou art a villain to impeach me thus. I'll defend mine honor and mine honesty against thee presently, if thou darest stand.
I dare, and do defy thee for a villain. I'll see you in hell.
Hold! Hurt him not, for God's sake! He is mad! Some come within, some take his sword, some bind Romeo to and bear them hence to my house!
Run the master, for God's sake, take a house! This is some priory!
Come back!
What? You just stood there! Was I not clear enough?
Some come within,
You owe me.
some bind him
owes me,
hence, some
so
take
I
his sword,
Be
and
quiet,
bear them hence
people.
to my house!
Wherefore throng you hither?
To fetch my poor distracted husband home. Let us come in, so that we may bind him and bring him forth for his recovery.
I knew he was not in his perfect wits.
I am sorry now that I did draw upon him.
How long hath the possession held the man?
This week he hath been heavy, sour, sad, and much unlike the man he was. But not so this afternoon did his passion break into extremity of rage.
Hath he lost much wealth by rack of sea? Buried some dear friend?
No.
Hath not else his eyes strayed his affection in unlawful love? A sin prevailing much in youthful men who give their eye the liberty of gazing. Of which of these sorrows is he subject to?
Oh, to none of these.
Oh.
Except to be the last one.
Ah,
Namely, some love that drew him off from home.
for that you should have reprehended him.
And so I did,
Aye, but not rough enough.
as roughly as my modesty would let me.
Happily in private.
And in assemblies too.
Aye, but not enough.
It was the copy of my conference. In bed he slept, not for my urging it. At board he fed, not for my urging it. Alone it was the subject of my theme. In company I often glanced it. Still did I tell him it was vile and bad.
And there it came, the man was mad. The venom clamors of a jealous woman, poisons more deadly than a mad dog's tooth. It seems his sleeps were hindered by thy railings, so it came his head was light. Thou sayest his meat was sauced in thy upbraidings. Unquiet meals make ill digestions. Thou sayest his sports were hindered by thy brawls. Sweet recreation barred, what doth ensue but dull and moody melancholies? Kinsmen to grim and comfortless despair, and at her heels a huge infectious troop of pale distemperatures and foes to life. In food, in sport, in life-preserving rest, to be disturbed would mad or man or beast. The consequences then, thy jealous fits have scared thy husband from the use of wits.
She never reprehended him, but mildly. When he demeaned himself, rough, rude, and wildly. Why bear you these rebukes and answer not?
He did betray me past my own reproof. Good people! Go fetch my husband hence.
No, not a creature enters my house.
Then have your servants bring him forth to me.
Neither. He took this place for sanctuary, and it shall privilege him from your hands, till I have brought him to his wits again, or lose my labor in assaying it.
I will attend to my husband. Be his nurse, for it is my office. Diet his sickness, and he shall have no attorney but myself. Therefore, bring him hence to me!
Be quiet, and leave him here, for I will not let him stir till I have used the approved means which I have, wholesome syrups, drugs, and holy prayers, to make him a formal man again. It is the branch and parcel of mine oath, the charitable duty of my order. Therefore depart and leave him here with me.
I will not hence and leave my husband here, and ill it doth beseem your holiness to separate a husband and a wife.
Be quiet and depart, thou shalt not have him.
Complain to the Duke of these indignities.
Come, go, I will fall prostrate at his feet, and never rise until my tears and prayers have bid the Duke to come in person and fetch my husband from the abyss.
By this, I think the dial points at 5. Anon, I'm sure. The Duke himself comes this way, to his melancholy vale, to the place of death and sorry execution behind the ditches of the abbey here.
Upon what cause?
To see a reverend Syracusan merchant, put unluckily in this bay, against the laws and statutes of this town, beheaded publicly for his offense.
Look where they come. We will behold his death.
Kneel to the Duke before he pass the abbey.
Yet again, proclaim it publicly. If any friend shall pay his sum, he shall live. So much we tender him.
Justice! Most sacred Duke, against the abbess.
She is a reverend and virtuous lady. It cannot be that she did thee wrong.
May it please your grace, Antipholus, my husband, who I made lord of me and all I had at your important letters, did this ill day a most outrageous fit of madness overtook him, that desperately he hurried through the streets. With him his bondsmen, as mad as he, did do displeasure to the citizens by rushing into their homes and bearing hence rings, jewels, anything his rage did like. Once did I have him bound and set for home, so as to do better for the bonds I did. Anon, I wot not by what strange escape he made of those that had the hold of him. And with his madman and himself in an ireful passion, madly bent on us, chased us away, till bringing up more aid we came again to bind them, and then they fled into this abbey, whither we pursued them, and now the abbess locks the doors on us, and will not suffer us to bear him forth, no bring him hence so we may bring him home. Therefore, most gracious Duke, at thy command, have him brought forth and borne hence for help.
Long since thy husband served me in my wars, and I to thee engaged prince's word. Go, some of you. Now come the abbey gate. Bid the lady abbess come to me. I will determine this before I stir.
Mistress! Mistress! Shift and save thyself! Thy master and his men have both broke loose, beaten the maids row and bound the doctor, whose beard they have singed up with brands of fire, and ever as it did burn, they threw on them great pails of cold fire to quench the flame. My master preaches patience to them all the while. His man mixing him with scissors like a fool. And sure, unless you send the present help, between them they will kill the conjurer.
Peace! Fool! Thy master and his man are here, and that is false thou dost report to us.
Mistress, upon my life, I tell you true. I have scarcely breathed since I almost did see it. Hark! Hark, I hear the fly, mistress! Be gone!
Come, stand by me, fear nothing.
Look, it is my husband! See how he is borne about invisible. Even now, we housed him in the abbey, and here he is, beyond thought of human reason!
Justice! Most gracious Duke! Oh, grant me justice! Even for the service that long since I did thee when I bestood thee in the wars, and took deep scars to save thy life! Even for the blood that then I lost for thee, now grant me justice!
Unless the fear of death doth make me dote, there be my son Antipholus and Dromio.
Justice, sweet prince, against that woman there! She who now gavest me to be my wife, that hath abused and dishonored me, even in the strength and height of injury. Beyond imagination is the wrong that she this day hath shameless thrown on me.
Determine how, and thou wilt find me just.
Great Duke, she did shut me out this day, whilst with harlots she feasted in my house!
A grievous fault? Say, woman, didst thou so?
No, my good lord. My sister, my husband, and myself dined within, so bear my soul, but it is false he burdens me with all!
There, may I look on day nor sleep on night, but she tells to your highness simple truth.
Oh, perjured woman! They are both forsworn. In this, the madman justly charges.
My liege, I am advised what I say. This woman, this day, locked me out from dinner. That goldsmith there, were she not packed with her, could witness it, for she was with me then, who parted with me to go and fetch a chain, promising to bring it to the Porpentine, whereas Balthazar and I did dine together. Our dinner done, and she not coming thither, I went to seek her. In the street I met her, and in her company, that gentleman. There, this perjured goldsmith did swear me down that I this day received of her the chain. Out! I saw not! For the which she did arrest me with an officer. I did obey, and sent my man home for certain ducats. He with none returns. Then fairly I bespoke the officer to go with me in person to my house. By the way, we met my wife, her sister, and a rabble more of vile confederates. Among them one Pinch, a hungry, lean-faced villain who did fell upon me, bound me, bore me thence, and in a dark and dankish vault at home did leave me and my man there bound together, till gnawing my bonds in sunder, I gained my freedom, and immediately ran hither to your grace, whom now I beseech to give me ample satisfaction for these deep shames and great indignities.
In truth, thus far I witnessed with him. He dined not at home, but was locked out.
Had he a chain of thee, or no?
He did. And when he ran in here, these people saw it about his neck.
Besides, I will be sworn, these ears of mine heard you confess that you had the chain of her. And after you first forswore it on the mart, and thereupon I drew my sword on you. And then you fled into the abbey here, from whence I think you are come by miracle.
I never came within these abbey walls, nor didst thou ever draw thy sword on me. And I never saw the chain, so help me heaven! This is false, you burden me withal!
Why, what intricate impeach is this? If here you housed him, here he would have been. If he were mad, he would not plead so coldly. You say he dined at home, but the goldsmith here denies that. Sirrah, what say you?
He hath dined with her there, sir, at the Porpentine.
He did, and from my finger snatched that ring.
Indeed, my liege, this ring I had of her.
Sawest thou him enter the abbey here?
Assure, my liege, as I do see your grace.
Oh. Why, this is strange. Go, fetch the lady abbess come to me. I will think you are all mated, or stark mad.
Most gracious Duke, vouchsafe I speak a word. Haply I see friends who might save my life, and release me of these chains.
Speak freely, Syracusian, what thou wilt.
Art thou... is not thy name Antipholus? And is that not thy bondman Dromio?
Within this hour I was his bondman, sir, till I thank him, gnawed into my cords. Now I am Dromio, and his man, unbound.
Well, I am sure thou dost remember me.
Ourselves we do remember, sir, by you, for lately we were bound as you are now.
Why dost thou look strange upon me? You know me well.
I never saw you in my life till now.
Grief has done changed me since you saw me last, and careful hours of time's deformed hand has done made strange the features in my face. But tell me, dost thou now recognize my voice?
Neither.
Well,
Neither thou, Dromio.
No, trust me, sir, nor I.
I am sure thou dost.
Aye, but I am sure that I do not. And whatsoever a man denies, you are now bound to believe him.
That was not my voice. That was not my voice. Oh, time's extremity. Hast thou not cut and split my tongue that in 7 short years my own son knows not the feeble key of untuned cares? All these witnesses, I cannot err. Tell me thou art my son, Antipholus.
I never saw my father in my life.
But 7 years in Syracuse, boy, thus did we depart from that. Unless thou shamest to acknowledge me in misery.
The Duke and all that live in the city can witness that I never saw Syracuse in my life.
What?
I tell you, Syracusian, 20 years was I patron to Antipholus, during which time he ne'er saw Syracuse. I see thy age and dangers make thee told.
That's all. There are 4 of them. 2 by 2 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. That's all. Yeah, 2 of them, 2. Here's 2, 2. My favorite number is 2 because.
Mighty Duke, I see a man much wronged.
I see 2 husbands! Or else mine eyes deceive me.
One of these men is genius to the other. So, of these, which is the natural man and which is the spirit? Who deciphers them?
I, sir, am Dromio. Command him away! I, sir, am Dromio. Pray let me stay.
Gian, art thou not, or else his ghost?
My old master, but who hath bound him here?
Whoever has bound him, I will loose his bonds, and gain a husband by his liberty.
Huh?
Speak, old Gian, if thou beest the man that hadst a wife once called Amelia, who bore thee a burden 2 fair sons, speak, old Gian, and speak unto the same Amelia.
If I dreamest thou art Amelia, tell me, where is the boy that floated with you on that fatal raft?
By men of Epidamium they took he and I and the twin Dromio, but by and by rude fishermen of Corinth by force took Dromio and my son from me, and I they left with those of Epidamium. And what then became of them I cannot tell, but I to this fortune you see me in.
Why, here begins this morning story, right? These 2 Antipholus, these 2 so like, these 2 Dromios, one in semblance, besides, for her urge for her wrack at sea. These are the parents to these children. Who are accidentally met together. Antipholus, thou camest from Corinth first?
No, sir, not I. I came from Syracuse.
Stay apart. I know not which is which.
I came from Corinth, my good lord.
And I with him.
Brought to this town by that great warrior Duke Menaphon, thy most renowned uncle.
Which of you didst dine with me today?
I, gentle mistress.
And are you not my husband?
No, I say nay to that.
And so do I. But she did call me so. And this fair gentlewoman, her sister here, did call me brother. What I said to you, then, I hope I shall have some leisure to make good, if this be not a dream I see in here.
That is the chain, sir, which you had of me?
I think it is. I deny it not.
And you, for the same chain, arrested me.
Oh, I think I did, sir. I deny it not.
I gave thee money, sir, by Dromio here, but I think he delivered it not.
No, sir, none by me.
This purse of ducats I did receive from you. My Dromio, my man here, did bring them me. I see we still did meet each other's man. I stayed for him and him for me. And thereupon these errors arose.
These ducats I pawn I for my father here.
It has not need. Your father hath his life.
Sir, I must have that ring from you.
Oh, of course. Here it is. And much thanks for my good cheer.
Renowned Duke, vouchsafe to take the pains and go into the abbey here, and here large all discourse our fortunes, and all that are assembled in this place that by this sympathized one day's error have suffered wrong. Go to a gossip's feast, and there we will make a full satisfaction. 33 years I have gone, but in travail of you, my sons, and my heavy burden, near delivered at this very hour. The Duke, my husband, and my children both, and you, the calendars of their nativity, go to a gossip's feast, and go with me. After such long grief, such nativity.
With all my heart, I'll gossip at this feast. Antipholus!
Oh,
Oh, Antipholus!
Antipholus.
Oh.
I like your eyes.
Thank you.
No.
They're really
Luciana, come! Let's go.
and your whole face.
Luciana! Come!
I'll see you at the
We're going!
Master! Shall I fetch your goods, sir?
Dromio, what stuff of mine hast thou embarked?
Your good sir that lay at host at the centaur?
He speaks to me. I am your master, Dromio. Come go with us. We'll look to that anon. Embrace your brother. Rejoice with him.
Oh! Thou art my glass and not my brother. I see by you I am a sweet-faced youth. Come in. Will you walk in to see their gossiping? Ooh, not I, sir. You are my elder. That is a question. How shall we try it? We'll draw cuts for the senior. Till then, lead thou first. Nay, then thus. We came into this world as brother and brother. Now let's go hand in hand, not one before another.